We are standing here with Niels Ryding Olsson from a company known as KeyQuest Studio. It's a newly started Danish game developer, and they are developing a game called Dead Ends. So, Niels, can you start by introducing yourself and your studio?
Yeah, well, so I'm the CEO and also lead programmer of the game, and so we are two guys, a very small indie studio, making this zombie apocalypse game show called Dead Ends. So it's this small, fun co-op game that you can play with your friends, where you participate in this very horrible and very silly game show to gain access and citizenship in the safe zone in this post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah, and I read on your website that you're very inspired by pop culture. How is that represented in the game?
Well, we just always draw on all of the references from all of the pop culture that we love. So the reason that we wanted to do a zombie game in the first place was because we just love a lot of different movies and comic books and games that has to do with the zombie apocalypse. And so that's just a genre that we love. So we're always trying to draw inspiration from old zombie movies or like the best games that we like, or comic books, for example. I'm a big reader of the Walking Dead, so there's some experience from there. But it's small things here and there where we try to like say, this we could like have this like nod or Easter egg towards these known pop culture things. And so that's basically how it comes into play. And we believe that pop culture can be a uniting force. That's like the whole like foundation of the studio, KeyQuest Studio, is that we want to use pop culture, we want to contribute to pop culture and use that as a uniting force to create connections between people and communities, because that's our own experience, right? We have bonded, the two of us, me and Christian, my partner, over some pop culture things, and we have been part of different gaming communities and so on. And we just think that games is the best medium for that.
Yeah, in terms of the gameplay you're going to experience, can you describe that a bit?
Yeah, so the feeling that we're trying to go for is like those moments where you just laugh so hard with your friends that it almost hurts in your stomach. That's like that. Those moments we want to create because they are relationship building. And so for Dead Ends, for example, it's just this very absurd contrast between the fact that you're participating in a game show and you have to do silly things like catch balls in your backpack, but also these balls are like bouncing around and exploding, and it's like very deadly, and there's a lot of gore and blood, and the character gets covered in blood, and you can hear them like screaming in like fear, but also there's a commentator like cracking jokes, and you can hear the audience clapping, and like it's just a very hilariously absurd contrast between those things. And then we have these elements of wacky physics that just creates these just like very goofy moments that just makes you laugh. And that's kind of what we're going for.
Yeah, so this is your first game.
Yes.
When it releases, how has it the process been? What has been some of the challenges starting as a new studio?
The process, I would say, is very chaotic. That's the best word I could use to describe the game development process. It's a very iterative process, so you have no idea like where things are going. You have some plan and vision in your head, and then when you start working on it, you see what works and what doesn't, and then you change direction and you kind of follow the fun, like what is fun here, what is not, and then you work on it. And that can feel very chaotic because oftentimes you end up throwing out a lot of things maybe that you've worked on for a long time, and you should really be able to do that, like killing your darlings, it's a cliche. So that can feel like very chaotic, like we are constantly like changing things and moving things around and stuff like that. The biggest challenges I think has just been to get people on board. We can't do this completely ourselves. We had another company before, and we invested some money from that company into this, so we have been self-funding some of the way, but we need like other people to come on board, like publishers or other investors, and that has been challenging to like find out how do we how do we present the idea in a way that it actually resonates with other people, so we can actually get them to want to be on board in this project? That is, I think, has been a very big challenge. And right now, we're trying to find, recruit people for the studio, and finding good talent, I think, has also been a bit of a challenge, but we're managing it. I think we're starting to get some good people. And then just that, living in that chaotic process, I think, has also been a challenge that we'd have to kind of adapt to, accepting stuff like throwing out things that you've worked on a lot, or like changing the vision for the game drastically. I think that's the biggest challenges.
So when are you hoping that the game is ready for a release, perhaps in early access or a demo or something like that?
So we're aiming at a Q1 2027 early access release. So it's still some time out in the future, right? And we hope that's a realistic plan.
Yeah, thanks for telling about the game.
Of course. Thank you for having me.